We're going to be covering flight lessons 18 and 19 today. It's going to be ILS and localizer approaches, along with VOR DME approaches. So, game plan here is we're going to go up north to North Texas. It has both of those approaches.
Gotcha.
The ILS 18 left also has a procedure turn.
Okay.
So we will talk about that, how we set that up, how we set up that transition point, and then the protected area procedure turns, how we execute them, so on and so forth. And then we've got the VOR alpha there, which is, alpha means it's more than 30 degrees off of the runway heading, right? So it's going to spit you out just around midfield. And then it'll be kind of up to us to make a determination which runway we're landing on and how we're going to do that. North Texas is towered, but the tower closed about 5 seconds ago, so it's going to be untowered today. So we just want to, be good Samaritans to other pilots in the area. Typically on these circling approaches, you do whatever makes the most sense for you to enter the downwind or base leg for the appropriate runway, right? But with VFR conditions, VMC conditions, we'll try to observe standard traffic patterns and other traffic in the area. So that'll be my responsibility. Don't worry about that. I'll give you instructions on the circling piece. I'll say thrust 569, expect to circle east of the field at all times, and then enter the left downwind for one left, something like that. And then, the ILS, so we'll do the ILS, probably the localizer. So the localizer is just the ILS without the vertical guidance. Right. Talk about the difference between those. And we'll shoot 2 or 3 approaches up in Denison, and then we'll come back and shoot the ILS back into Addison again. Okay. And should get about 4 approaches in today. On our way up north, we're also going to do a quick intro into GPS holds because we're going to have a little bit of downtime. Okay. So we're doing that. I'll give you a GPS hold, which might be given for, if you have to divert or there's some weather or you're practicing approaches and you've already got one plane in a Delta airspace, they'll have you hold somewhere until that plane's out of it or until they're on the ground. So it'll be an actual, real life scenario. You can get one of these holds. So we'll talk about how to plug that in. And then in our sim on Wednesday, we'll do unpublished holds. I like to start those in the sim and then move into the airplane because it can be a little bit more complex. Gotcha. Saves us a little bit of time and money to intro that and then the sim. Sweet. Sound good? Sounds good.
Okay, back to you.
Fire controls, gear controls.
We're going to talk about GPS holds. So, first things first. GPS hold, ATC is going to put you holding over a specific protected area. And that's just going to be a little safe space for you to go and hang out for a few minutes until we're ready to keep moving along. So, one thing they're going to come on and say, thrust 569, whatever the reason is. Need you to hold, weather, too many people at the airport, right? Whatever the scenario is, need you to hold, advise when ready to copy hold instructions. So you'll take a minute, get set up, and we'll have to get these hold instructions. So if you open up your iPad here, ForeFlight actually has a scratch pad specifically for holds. So go to scratch pad. You don't have to use this, but if you've got an Apple Pencil or you're good with your finger.
Yeah, that's the thing. I got this thing instead, basically.
Okay. Well, let's just take a look at it because it'll let you know what to expect.
Yeah.
So go to holds.
Holding.
Yep. So they're going to give you a hold, and then the first space is going to be a direction. So they're going to say north, northeast, south, southwest, whatever it is, of a fixed point. And then they're going to give you a radial or a course to hold on. Then they're going to tell you right or left turns. If they don't specify,
it's right turns.
Then it's presumed right turns. And they'll also give you an altitude, and then expect further clearance. So the expect further clearance is important, because if you get to that EFC time and you haven't heard anything, what do? Well, it'd be a good time to check in with them. Could also be, if you're not hearing anything, you might have lost comm. So we're not just going to, once that EFC time comes, we're not just going to keep holding for 10 minutes without talking to anybody.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty good about giving you additional instructions, but this will also be a good time, and you'll kind of get tested on this as well. Some folks use this as a lost comm scenario. So you get to that EFC time and a hold, they don't say anything, and you just keep holding, and it's like, well, it's not really what you're supposed to do. You got to talk to somebody. Approach, that's 569 at our EFC. Please advise. We want to keep holding. Can we proceed on course? What are we doing?
And if it is lost comms, then you're supposed to just continue, right?
Well, we'll talk about lost comms in a minute.
Okay.
All right, so here would be an example of a holding instruction. I'm just going to pick a random GPS waypoint in front of us that's on the way to where we're going for time's sake. So thrust 569, hold north of Auric, that's Oscar, Romeo, India, Charlie, Kilo, on the 360 radial at 3,000. Expect further clearance 0030 Zulu. And you would repeat that back.
Hold north of Auric on the 360 radial at 3,000. Expect further clearance at 0030 Zulu.
Cool. All right, so we've got a couple options here. We can just come over here, click, highlight it, hit direct, and then come down here to hold.
Okay.
And we can build it. But let's say we don't see it. We would need to use our keypad. We could either use either one, but hit direct, and then just type in that fix. Yeah, so instead of airport code, we'll just type in that. There you go. Then you hit enter, and instead of activate, you go to hold. So here we can build the hold. So I gave you a course, 360. Go to 00, and then outbound. There you go.
And then
Hit enter. South right here. We want to hold north. So instead of inbound, do outbound. Enter.
hold north. Okay.
Yeah. GPS holds are 4 nautical mile legs, not 1 minute. So we'll do that. And then you've got right turns already plugged in. I didn't specify, so you're good there. Okay. And now you can plug in your EFC time.
0030.
So about 12 minutes. Then you're going to activate and then hit nav mode. We've got our hold built right here. That's going to fly. And the last thing we need to do here, what altitude did I tell you to hold at?
3,000.
All right, so let's go ahead and climb up to 3. So we'll go there and hold, and then G1000 is nice. So it's already got that entry, so it's got us, looks like, set up for a parallel entry.
Right.
So it shows that parallel entry here, and then it's just going to hold there until basically we tell it otherwise. So that's the easier of the two.
Right.
Another day we'll do unpublished holds. So when it's really hot like this, don't go full rich when we're climbing.
Okay.
See your EGTs. It's already a density altitude of 3,000 or 4,000, and then we're at 2,000, so see how I ease this mixture back? Our RPMs are going to slowly climb. Choking it out with that full ridge.
Gotcha.
So something that might happen here is they're going to give you those hold instructions, and then they're going to say what to expect next. Okay. All right, so be thrust 569, expect 1 lap in the hold, and then expect the ILS 18 left into North Texas. Or back on course or something to that effect. What they might also do is, like, they'll tell you what part to a video, they'll tell you to expect radar vectors to it, or expect clearance to Ribby, which is going to be the initial approach fix and the final approach fix. If they give you the initial, expect a clearance to the initial approach fix, like if we look at the plate here, let's check it out. Yeah, we got Ribby right here. Yeah. We cross Ribby outbound and then back inbound. So they clear us direct to a fix coming the opposite direction of the approach we're shooting. We're going to do this procedure turn as a course reversal. So what we can do while we're getting ready for that is we can go ahead and actually get that set up in our MFD. Bring this power back. Yep. So we have procedure. Select approach. And then click back, yep, and then go to KGYI. And now ILS 18 left. I told you to expect Ribby, which is DNI. The DNI outer mark, NDB, Ribby outer marker.
So Ribby's the outer marker, and yeah, the GPS point is DNI. Okay.
No, NDB, non-directional beacon, not GPS.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they probably would have said expect clearance direct to DNI after your hold.
Okay.
Then you go and put in the minimums. We'll do the ILS, so go and plug in the minimums. You can also see here where it's got us set up. So we're going to go to DNI, it's going to do the procedure turn, and then bring us back inbound.
Okay. 950 in this case.
Okay.
Okay.
And then just load it.
Yeah.
Enter. So now we've got the approach in our flight plan here, but it's not activated, so it's still flying this hold.
Right.
Yep. And then just for time's sake today, we'll do a hold later on today. I'm not actually going to fly this one. I just wanted to show you how to build it.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and break off this hold. Fly heading. Just keep on that 1010 heading. Cool. And then, so it might say something like this. Us 569, cleared direct to DNI. Cross DNI at or above 4,000.
At or above 4,000.
Yep, so you say Lone Star approach, so it's 569, cleared to DNI at or above 4,000.
Okay.
So now we could activate that approach. So hit procedure, activate approach, and then hit nav mode on your GPS. And now we can scroll out here and look, and now we've got that sucker loaded up. All right, cool, so we're clear to cross that at 4,000. While we're doing that, remember the acronym I told you yesterday?
Was it the NICE ATM? Or
Nope.
No.
ABBC for building approaches.
Right.
ATIS, build it, brief it, checklist.
The ATIS.
That in COM2, and then tower in COM on standby?
Sure.
Cool.
0, Zulu, wind 260 at tree, visibility 9er, sky, clear below 12,000, temperature 2.22, altimeter, tree 000, remark, lightning, distant, northeast, density altitude 2,000, tree 100. Visual approach, slope indicator, runway 36 right, runway 18 left, unusable. North Texas Regional Airport, tower ceases. Air traffic control services at 1900, local time. Common traffic advisory and airport lighting on tower frequency 120.575. For additional information, contact Fort Worth Center on 124.75. North Texas Tower resumes operation at 0700 local time. North Texas Regional Airport, tower closed. Automated weather observation 00225 Zulu, wind 270 at tree, visibility 8, sky, clear below 12,000.
All right, cool. So we got the ATIS. We got the approach built already because we did that whenever we were setting up for the hold. Now we can start briefing it. So, got our localizer course up here, 111.7, check. And check our final approach course, 179. We got a big runway today, 9,000 feet. Touchdowns on elevation, 741. Touchdowns on elevation is the highest point, the first 3,000 feet of the runway.
Right.
So it's slightly lower than the airport elevation. ADF required. Non-standard takeoff minimums, alternates, not authorized.
Right.
Circling 18 right, 36 left, not authorized at night. It's because that runway doesn't have lights.
Gotcha. Autopilot coupled approach, not applicable to 1900.
And then for NOP ALS, increase localizer 18 left cat CD visibility to 1 and 3/8, which we are not cat C or D.
So.
Missed approach, climb to 2,000 and climbing left turn to 2800 and direct to DNI and hold. So you can actually do a localizer hold here. Right, the missed approach, you'd fly out here and come back and hold on that. So we may or may not do that today. And we've got our textual description of our missed approach right here. It's climbing 2,000, climbing left turn, direct to DNI and hold. And then, see here, DNI. Once we've crossed DNI, they told us to cross DNI at what altitude? 4,000. So as soon as we cross DNI outbound, out 359, we got this 359 on the outbound. We can drop down to 2800. And then coming back in, sometimes there's another step down altitude we could come down to it even further. But we can pretty much descend to...
That's once we intercept it again, right?
Outbound, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one would be, we could drop down to 2800 outbound, and if this was 2500, we could back on that one back in 179,
okay.
yeah, 2500. Cool, so we got that briefed. I got some time. We could do any checklist, check the cruise checklist again, make sure our mixture is good, all that.
Minimums are good.
Now would also be a good time we could talk about 91175. So in actual, we're flying in a pro. Let me see what this guy's doing. Looks like he's turning. In actual, when can we continue the approach, or when do we need to go missed, right? So 91175, the landing portion of it is 3 sections. One, the weather has to be within the prescribed minimums, so we have to have at least 941 feet of visibility. So the field elevation here, 741. Really, anything overcast 200 and above, we could do. 200 less, yeah, not so much. That's like really skirting it. So probably 250, 300. Okay. And then half-mile visibility. So ILS is a precision approach. So these are typically going to have some of your lower minimums. So like 200 and a half miles, about as low as it gets, unless you're shooting a Cat 2 or 3 approach. And you see here a localizer minimum is much higher. Yeah. So without that vertical guidance, the visibility is the same, but your ceilings need to be about 400 feet higher.
Gotcha. And then circling a little higher than that, yeah.
So it's important when we're planning this cross-country too, we need to look at the plates to be prepared for the approaches that we're shooting ahead of time. Make sure there's not any notes that are applicable. Also, when cross-country flight planning, looking at this to make sure we have, North Texas, a lot of people think it might be a good alternate, but you look right here, not authorized. I think it's not authorized because the ILS isn't serviced here.
Okay.
Like if you look at, we go back, this is KGBT.
Oh, you might have to, yeah.
We go to the RNAV 18 left. So we don't have that alternate authorized. So if we wanted to use GYI as an alternate, we would have to be able to shoot the RNAV approach.
Okay.
So the weather has to be within the prescribed minimums for the first portion. Second part, must be in a continuous position to the land using normal maneuvers and normal descent. So can't do a slip to land or anything crazy like that. And then third, when can you descend below the DA or MDA? So ILS, part of an ILS is going to be an approach lighting system. So that's going to be important when we're talking about 91175 here. Because we can descend below the DA or MDA if we have the red terminating bars in sight, up to above 100 feet above the touchdown zone elevation. So let's say we get to minimums, we see the red terminating bars, but we don't see anything else. We can continue descending up to, down to 841, and then at that point we'd either need to see another piece of the runway environment in sight or the full ALS in order to continue descent. So that reg's going to be, you have to have either red terminating bars inside, but if all you see is the red terminating bars, you can descend another 100 feet in this scenario. And then at that point, you would need to see either the runway markings, the runway threshold, the display threshold, the visual glide slope indicator, the PAPI or the VASI if they had one, REILs, the runway lights themselves, the display threshold lights, any portion of the runway environment inside. There's a list of it on the reg. You're going to be very familiar with that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a...
I'm going to call up North Texas real quick, let them know what the deal is. North Texas traffic for the 569, about 8 miles to the south. We're going to overfly the field 4,000, doing the full procedure, ILS 18 left, North Texas. Just letting them know what the deal is. So we're going to stay at 4,000 for now. That's the clearance we got from ATC. Once we get to DNI, we're going to drop us down to 2,800. Yeah. And then what I like to do here is you can see your whole flight plan right here, but it's also going to give you those different step downs. So if there was different step downs all the way through, you'd see 2,800, 2,500, so on and so forth. But I like to have this open or have this open right here. This doesn't give you the altitude, but it gives you your distance and your track. Just as an idea of what to descend down to. And then again, this bar right here will automatically go down to the next step down fix for you. Step down fix altitude. Another thing I want to point out right now too is you'll notice that right now our CDI is purple because it's using GPS to get us to DNI.
Right.
Once we get established back inbound, that should be green. If it's not, we're going to need to manually change it over. ILS is ground-based equipment, so we're using that localizer in there, localizer frequency to shoot this approach. Try to shoot this approach on purple data, it'll be an automatic fail.
Gotcha. Traffic HF number, it's about 2,200 on the upwind, on our right, left, leaving the area to the south.
Got him in sight, no factor.
Go check this traffic, type 529 is taxi to 18 left, the Alpha left south hangars. Perfect.
So yesterday we mainly, I'll let you land. Today we're going to have some more emphasis on switching it up a little bit. So in the event we go miss, we got the 5 C's, cram, click, climb, clean, call. I recommend always saying it out loud and always do not move to one until you get to the other, because sometimes you may go missed or somebody may call your missed when you weren't expecting it. And it's not always natural reaction to take out a flap if I'm 2 miles away from the runway, not even lined up on final.
Right.
So like a common mistake is folks forget to clean up that last flap or climb when you're cruising around. Don't even think about it because you never were even close to a position to land.
Yeah.
So they leave that out. So always, always, always get all the way through that.
Click,
Climb,
then clean.
Yeah, then call. Climb first. North Texas 569 4000 over the field, inbound to DNI to do the procedure turn. Other traffic doing the procedure turn. We got you on the radar and we'll stay above you, North Texas.
That's it, thank you very much.
So we're just going to keep an eye on them. We'll stay at, they're at 2800 right now.
Right.
So after we're DNI inbound, we might drop down to 3500 or so we don't have such a steep approach coming back in. We want to always at least maintain 500, if not more, feet of separation from that
coming into
traffic.
North Texas Regional, 1757 Romeo. We've decided not to do the approach again. We did one. We're going to turn out to the west now, and airspace is going to be all yours in just a minute.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Have a good one.
See ya.
This 2000 corresponds to
your missed approach.
Okay. And if you do, I was going to say
here.
So it's okay.
Yeah. So missed it. Runway 18 left. Missed approach point. 2,000 feet on runway heading, and then at 2,000 feet left turn to DNI at 2800. Okay. So up to 2,000 on heading, and then climbing left turn 2800 at DNI, and then hold.
Okay. So on missed approach procedures, it's understood like if it just says climb to, that's runway heading.
Yeah. Well, it's also visually depicted right here.
Right.
Well. Yeah.
If it
wants you to go to a different direction, I'll say climbing left turn to or climbing right turn.
Okay. So it's climb to this and then do a climbing left turn to 2800 as you're on your way to. Okay.
Yeah, because on this, when you go missed on a precision approach like this, we're not even going to be at the runway yet.
Right.
So the runway is the only area guaranteed of obstruction clearance. So we're just going to fly directly over the runway and keep climbing, get to a safe altitude to make sure that we're not going to hit anything.
Gotcha. And from what I understand, if you were doing this procedure turn and it like wasn't built, then recommended like go past Ruby or DNI, and then so like you can do it there technically, but recommended like go out a minute, turn to 44, go out for a minute, and then turn back. And
in this plane, that's a good rule of thumb. It depends on how fast you're going. So you have within 10 nautical miles, so that's typically your protected area of the procedure turn.
Okay.
But yeah, in the Archer, a minute is good. This is probably going to be a little bit longer than a minute. But yeah, you'd fly a minute, right turn to 040, fly that for a minute, then left 180, back in to re-intercept that localizer.
Okay. So then you turn to 224.
Yep, to re-intercept.
And then when you, I guess that part would be on there. But yeah.
Another thing that we haven't talked about yet that I like to brief on the plate is if we do go missed, how are we going to enter the hold here?
That'll be a...
And these arrows are the direction that we're going to be holding.
Right.
So we'll be making left turns.
That would be direct on that side, so parallel or teardrop. Let's see, we're doing left turns, so this parallel.
Yep, exactly. So I usually write that out. I'll put like a P or something like that, or just brief it ahead of time, because the last thing you want to think about whenever you're in actual going miss, getting thrown around talking to ATC is, how am I going to enter the hold when I get there? Yeah. Because I promise you, if you actually go missed in actual, it's going to be a stressful thing. Like, you're going to be talking to somebody, you got to call it out. They might give you additional instructions. Like, they're going to expect you know exactly what to do. Yeah. Getting out of there.
So already just have it in mind.
And in IMC, one thing unfortunately we can't simulate in IMC that we can simulate you not seeing very well, but we can't simulate is like the turbulence associated with it. It's typically a lot more unstable. You're getting bounced around, you're getting thrown around. You actually can't see. Like this, you have that safety net of, well, if I get disoriented, I can just take my foggles off and look up. And IMC, you're getting bounced around like your vestibular and somatographic system are losing their minds.
And you don't have any visual reference. That's the whole.
And all you have is to look at this. So that's when you just got to dial in on your instruments. Like, don't even look up. Even like the slightest look up in actual, especially at nighttime. Yeah. There's just lights flashing. Like, it's just very disorienting.
Gotcha.
So it's going to show this. It's going to fly that.
So now I can descend to 2800.
Correct. So let's go ahead and do that. Plug the altitude first. Oh yeah. And this would also be a good time to go ahead and do that checklist.
Alright, we got the weather, overhead switches can go all up. Make sure we'll leave it. Minimums are set. Fuel quantity run left. That is the highest. Seats and seat belts. Flaps as required. And then autopilot off 200. Approach hills on the floor.
Speed up a little bit more.
And so you said it should automatically switch to green needles? Okay.
Once it gets established on the final approach course. Gotcha.
So it flying this procedure turn is
North Texas traffic test 529 is taking off 18 left. We're going to be departing the area to the east. North Texas
is based on GPS, like this.
The procedure turn?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's not any ground-based navigation equipment that's going to be able to guide us on this procedure turn.
Gotcha.
We'd have to hand fly it.
Makes sense.
And then, if they hadn't already cleared you, you could expect a clearance. So that'd be plus 569, 4 from DNI, cleared for the ILS 18 left into North Texas.
Cleared for the ILS 18 left. Plus 569.
They probably would have cleared you for that prior to approaching DNI, but just for expectation's sake and getting you used to communicating with ATC, that's probably the hardest part. After 3, 4, 5 flights, the approaches aren't going to be, they're usually not too difficult. There'll be a couple hiccups here and there, but for the most part, like, after you've done it 10 or 20 times, you get that muscle memory, and it's not bad.
Gotcha.
It's the knowing what to expect from ATC and what to expect that gets tricky. Keep those RPMs up. So yeah, we'll switch over to the green data now.
Gotcha.
So now we're on that localizer. We can verify 117.0 IGYI, 117.0 IGYI. North Texas traffic is 569, 10 mile final, 18 left on the ILS, North Texas.
So then, really is, but in this case, because the procedure turn, or in this plate, it's the initial approach fix and the final approach fix.
Correct.
Right. So in this case, when do you start, like, slowing down and setting up? Is there like a distance, or is it like once you hit Ribby, or?
Same thing, so Ribby's our final approach fix. It's also at the outer marker beacon, which that's what the outer marker beacon's for. So 2 miles out, start slowing down.
Okay.
1 mile, configure.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now we see our glide slope starting to come alive too. And you've got cleared for the approach. If you want the GPS to fly this approach, you need to hit APR. You see how now that GS comes up there? So now the GS is on standby. As soon as it intercepts that, it's going to start following it in. There's, yeah. Also, as we progress on our flights, my job is going to be to start task saturating you, right? Because that's what it's going to be like if you're a single pilot in IMC. So we're going to kind of stagger up to that task saturation point. Right now, it's just getting you comfortable and familiar with shooting approaches, loading them up, and all that, and then...
So now localizer glide slope.
Yep.
Nope, I should have put a flap in already.
There you go. It's all right. You did it beforehand. Now start bringing that power out. As soon as that nose starts going down, bring that power, because that airspeed's going to quickly, see how quickly it's trending up?
Yep.
Another key here is just we want to anticipate what the plane's doing. So if that airspeed starts trending down, you're going to want to start walking that power back in before it gets to 90, so that we can level off at 90. Otherwise, we're just going to be chasing it all day long. So proactive, not reactive. It's a ticket. Good. All right, what's our missed approach procedure?
Climb to 2000, climbing left turn to 28, and direct DNI.
And then hold.
And hold, yes.
So remember, if I don't say go visual, you're going to go missed.
At minimum.
This is a DA, so you go missed at minimums. MDA, you go missed at missed approach point.
Yeah, that's something that gets me too.
Yeah, we're just trying to. Yep. ILS is going to be a DA, localizer, and circling are MDA.
Okay.
Pretty much, if it has vertical guidance, it's a DA. The only exception to that is going to be the LNAV plus V, the advisory glide slope that we shot at Rockwall yesterday. Right. That one is still an MDA. So we kind of demonstrated that yesterday, right? We just kind of shot through those minimums because it was on the...
Texas traffic, 529, Spartan Air to the east, or sorry, west, last call, North Texas.
North Texas, 569, 4 mile final, 18 left, North Texas. About 700 for minimums here. Everything's looking good. Airspeed's good. Not very windy today.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'll be nice and let you do the autopilot on this one, and the next one we'll go hand fly. North Texas traffic, 569, 2 mile final, 18 left, North Texas.
All right, 250. $100.
Minimums.
We're not visual. We're going to cram, click, climb, clean.
Stay on that runway heading.
And then call.
Let's say North Texas traffic, that's 569, go missed. North Texas traffic, that's 569, go missed. All right, now what?
Now we're going to climb to 2,000.
Okay. See how now this says MAPR, that's missed approach activated. Then we can look over here. Same thing, we're going to get up to that 2,000, then it'll activate the next leg. You could hit autopilot, and it would fly this for you as well.
Okay.
See, the GA is go around, right? So that's an option, but we're going to hand fly this.
Gotcha.
And you can still use this localizer here on the CDI for your lateral navigation. $100 to go. Keep climbing and turn. Yep, standard rate turns. And you've also got that flight director there you can use to kind of guide you. Take 569, climbing at 2800 northbound to DNI and holding North Texas. Plus 569, expect a lap in the hold at DNI and then the localizer 18 left back into North Texas.
Expect a lap in the hold and then the localizer back into 18 left. Plus 569. So, like, for example, there I felt like, oh, I should probably write that down. But, I mean, I can remember one lap and then localizer.
Yep.
And if I'm hand flying, then I'm like, what do I, you know?
Well, we already have the... You could switch over to your CDI. Yep. So we know we're going to the localizer, we're tracking to it. We're going to hold at, looks like, at DNI, which we have right here. We're about 4 miles from it. So here in a little bit, we should see that needle coming in, and then we could start loading up the localizer 18 left. So you could hit procedure, select approach, and you could do localizer 18 left. Vectors, I'll clear you for it in the hold. And then set up your new minimums, 1220. And load, yep. And we're going to want to get our timer ready. Oh yeah, for the hold, ready to do that parallel, yep. So we're going to cross DNI, and then we're going to fly what heading?
44.
Negative, that's for the procedure turn.
Oh, we're going to cross it, and then we're going to go for parallel, 359.
Yep, 359. You're really just going to stay on the localizer, though.
Okay.
And then fly for a minute, and then you'll do a turn.
Back on.
Yeah, probably 240 degrees or so. And we got that localizer needle moving in, so that's good. Remember, as that gets close, start leading into that turn, otherwise we're going to overshoot it. So once it gets to that first dot, start shallowing it out a little bit. Now, a little soon. Keep it out.
Oh, the 5 mark?
Yep.
Okay.
About a mile from DNI. We got a wind. We've got an 11 knot crosswind here. So right now that wind diamond's right on it. So you're still going to want to go probably another 10 degrees to the left to get fully intercepted. There we go. And then now, you can start that timer. We're outbound. Now keep an eye on that wind diamond, because right now you're going to fly off course. There you go.
There's a minute.
Good. Got plus or minus 100 feet of your altitude here, so you're doing good.
Now, since we're on the, or I guess the thing hasn't activated yet. I saw the glide slope, that's what I was asking. That's like a...
Yeah, we haven't activated the localizer yet. We're still on the go-around procedure. That's why that's important to note the distinction between loading and activating. Right? So if something's active, if we activate that localizer, it's going to take away what we're doing here.
Right.
So loading it just keeps us ahead of the plane. And we want to try to re-intercept that localizer before we get to DNI.
Gotcha.
Use our MFD here too to help us and see what our track is.
So if I'm just looking at the CDI, it's like this close before I need to basically go to the next.
Say that again?
Or like kind of with both. The track should be before DNI, and then this should, like, I should close the CDI to intercept.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're using the localizer's lateral navigation to keep us in line with the hold.
Right.
Like we want to intercept that coming back in and then on all subsequent legs of our hold. That's what's going to keep us there. Because like a wind like this, if we don't have anything to keep us in a specific point, we're just going to like keep drifting further and further east with that wind from the west. See how that's coming in now?
Yep.
Good.
North Texas Regional Traffic, Skyhawk 65956, currently over the airport outbound for the practice ILS. We will be doing the procedure turn. I think we're going to fall in behind thrust 569 out there.
Sounds good. We're doing one lap in DNI and then coming inbound.
Hey, firm, we're staying at 3,000, so you guys, I think, are below us enough. We'll actually stay a little bit high just the way we keep the separation because we'll be crossing over top of you.
Good deal. Yeah, we're at 2,800.
Sounds good. We're going to hold 33 then, just keep the separation.
Appreciate it. All right, cool. So now we're back DNI, so now you can just do that standard rate turn to the left. And we'd also now report established in the hold. Okay. It's one of our mandatory reporting points. Keep in mind we have that 10 knot crosswind, so the crosswind correction in holds is 3 to 1. So if we had, say, 10 degrees of crosswind correction on the inbound leg, we do 30 degrees of crosswind correction on the outbound leg. Okay. The math for that is you can't crosswind correct in our 2 turns here, right, which is each 1 minute. So we're doing 3 minutes of crosswind correction in the outbound turn versus 1 minute of correction on the inbound turn. Okay. So we're going to want 30 degrees of crosswind correction to the west, into the wind. So if our heading was supposed to be 359 here, it'd be 329. There you go. I see. And we can see here, this is keeping us like right in line with our outbound leg, even with what the GPS was doing. So we've got that timer, so we'll fire up for another 30 seconds, and then your call will be something like this: thrust 569, Lone Star departure. Cleared for the localizer 18 left on your inbound leg from the hold. Okay. Cleared for the localizer 18 left on the inbound leg. Yep, and then now we can activate that approach. It's going to keep that localizer up there, so procedure activate vector to final. And it takes away that hold. And now once we hit that, 3 seconds from now you can just start that left turn in and just re-intercept that localizer. There you go. Standard rate turn here should do the trick. And we're also 2 miles away. So keep that in mind. And this time, I don't want you to follow that glide slope. I just want you to give me a 500 to 700 feet per minute descent to our minimums. Okay. We're going to overshoot our final approach course a little bit, so just keep that turn coming all the way through and intercept it again. Got this other plane inside, we're good. They're still 500 above us.
Traffic, 12 o'clock, high, 2 miles.
Yeah, plus 569, Skyhawk 65956. We are over top of you 500 feet. Got you guys inside. Are you guys inbound at this point?
Hey, farm inbound, we got you inside too, but that's fine. Keep us at 2800 for now. Got plus or minus 100 feet right here, so this would technically be just out of standards. Gotcha. So now we're inbound, you can start that descent. Now just do a 500 feet per minute descent down to our minimums. I would also bug your minimums here. Yep. Oh yeah, one roll it should, yeah. Start that descent. Looking for roughly 1800 RPMs here to start, and then get established in that descent and make any necessary power adjustments after that. Also trim for your descent rate. So get to that 90, looking for 500 or 600, and then trim for it. Remember, don't worry about that glide slope, just focus on the localizer. Correction. North 6 traffic 569, 4 mile final, 18 left. We'll be doing a touch and go and then departing to the east, set up for the VOR, North Texas. Check your wind. Yep, your heading is on the localizer, but you're not tracking that heading because you got, 10 degrees or so of wind drift. So keep this heading right here. Remember, small changes. We're coming back in now. Keep that right there. You want that wind diamond to be just to the right of that green arrow, so we keep intercepting. And then as that localizer moves in, then you can line up that purple diamond with the green arrow right there. So keep just a little bit more of a right turn in here. About 200 for minimums. Yep. That little noise right there means you're 200 for minimums. MDA's -0 plus 100 here. So let's get down to our 1220. See if we go visual. Haven't heard anything yet, so don't descend below that 1220. That's a power level off. Yeah, I'm going to do it a little bit sooner next time. And now we're just going to hold this 1220 until we get to our missed approach point. Gotcha. So when you get about 50 feet from your minimums, you want to start that level off and adding some power back in. It's going to take a second to arrest that descent, and once you start pitching up, that airspeed's going to drop off. So you're going to want to preemptively add some power. Now you're just holding that localizer all the way to our missed approach point. Gotcha. Very good. You've got plus 100 here, so 1320 would be your out of standards altitude. We had our missed approach point? No. Yeah, we passed it 0.2 miles ago. Oh. Okay. So let me cram, click, climb, clean. North Texas traffic, 569 going east. 569 amended. Miss instruction, sliding 120, climb to 2,500. Heading 120, climb to 2,500. Yep. North Texas, 569 eastbound, climbing to 2,500, set up for the VOR. Yeah, so on that, you got to be careful. You got to call that missed approach out because it's going to tick down from up here, and then once you pass it, it's going to start going the other direction. Okay. Damn, click line clean call. Did all those things. Good.
Skyhawk,
569, expect radar vectors for the VOR Alpha in North Texas.
On the localizer.
We'll expect radar vectors for the VOR Alpha in North Texas. 569. Alright, so we've already got the weather here, so we can just go ahead and build that approach now. Gotcha. Heading.
North Texas regional traffic, Skyhawk 65956, 10 miles straight in, runway 18 on the practice ILS, North Texas traffic.
Okay. Okay. So procedure, select approach, VOR Alpha, vectors, minimums, 1340. There's only circling. Yep. And then we'll activate it. Go. Activate. 569, right turn 10 degrees.
Right turn 10 degrees, there's 569.
Alright. AS built it. Reefed it. What runway we landing on today?
Circling runway 18 right, 36 left, not authorized at night. So, so there's only circling minimums.
Yep. What direction runway do the winds favor? What runway we just land on?
18 right, or 18 left.
Yep. Winds are calm, but it's 18 right now. So we're going to circle 18. So if we look at this, 18 is this way, right? Southbound runway.
Right.
So it's going to spit us out about right here.
So we're going to get in a left downwind.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
I see why it's only circling minimums now. Got it.
Yeah, because the straight in has to be within 30 degrees. So probably tomorrow or the next day we'll go to Majors, and they have a straight in VOR.
Gotcha.
But it's still offset. It's like 30 degrees offset.
Right. We looked at a plate today that was, and then they do those Zulu backwards, right?
Well, I think they have military approaches only.
Oh, yeah.
Which are the Zulu ones. Left turn 110.
Left turn 110. There's 569. Yeah, there was like a military one, or the Yankee one was the military one, and the Zulu one was the
civilian one.
Yeah. But it was still like the offset, but it was like at 30 degrees.
Gotcha. So in the briefing here, we talk about it, right? We are going to circle to 18 left. That's what the winds favor. And VMC, Tower would tell you what to expect. Like if Tower's open, they'd say expect to circle east of the field for the left downwind 18 left.
Regional traffic, Skyhawk 65.
In actual, you're going to do whatever makes the most sense. You don't break out until you get like right over the field, then it doesn't make sense to go to the left downwind. You might go to the right downwind.
Okay.
So that's 569, left turn 010.
010. Goes 569.
That was 569, about 8 miles east of the field, turning inbound for the VOR. Alpha, circle land, 18 left, North Texas. So yeah, you're going to do whatever makes the most sense in actual, because if you're cleared for this approach into a Delta, you're going to be the only one in the field. Like, they're not going to let two airplanes in the Delta until the other one's left the Delta or landed.
Okay.
That's 569, left turn 310 and intercept final approach course.
Left turn to 310 and intercept. That's 569.
Yep, and then don't forget to hit what after you get told to intercept?
Nav.
Attaboy. So that's 569. You're identifying 3 miles east of Haipan. Maintain 2,500 till established. You are cleared for the VOR Alpha into North Texas.
Cleared for the VOR Alpha. Maintain 2,500 until established. That's 569.
Once that needle starts moving in, you are considered established. So what altitude can we drop down to now? 2,400? Yeah, let's do that.
North Texas traffic, Skyhawk 65956 is going around and departing the area to the north. We'll be climbing up to 2,000 feet and departing.
Once we're Haipan inbound, just start descending down to that 500 to 700 feet a minute down to your minimums.
Okay. I like this to see minimums. Is that like a good?
It's also right here.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's a good way to update minimums too. Like if you forget to plug it on the approach, you can come back in after the fact and update your minimums there.
Gotcha. What is this?
Select nav on CDI for approach. Doesn't have vertical guidance.
Right, okay.
So you can shoot the VOR on purple data or green data. Purple data, you just need to have this guy up here because it shows your distance from BYP. And that's going to tell you your final approach fix. All right, 20 DME, and Wumar is your missed approach point, 24 DME.
Okay.
So straight in approaches, your missed approach point is going to be the runway threshold. These offset ones are going to be a DME from your VOR.
Gotcha.
North Travis 5695 East, inbound on the VOR Alpha, circle land 18 left, North Texas.
Texas hand flying this one
Traffic
again.
65956 is on the ILS mist. We're climbing up and turning out to the north at 2,000 feet.
Half a mile ago.
North Texas is 5693 East, inbound VOR Alpha, circle land 18 left, North Texas.
Keep a good steady descent, 500 to 700 feet a minute. Anything less than 500 feet a minute, we're going to be mighty close to the runway whenever we break out of the clouds.
Gotcha. And so in this case, it's like nose down a little more, maybe less power.
Yep.
Gotcha.
When it's nice and smooth like this, 1800 is usually a good number, but it's not perfect. So
Yeah.
do that first, see what your airspeed is, and then make small adjustments from there as needed.
Gotcha.
Check your localizer. Or your CDI, rather. Good. You also have your expanded circling minimums, which are 1.3 miles from the runway. It's like a safe area. And if you were to go missed, after you went visual, you'd want to climb in those expanded circling minimums once you're visual. For visual, let's just get down those minimums, keep going. Looking good.
It's 200, now we're about
100 to go. Gotta get all the way down to minimums to give you credit for this in simulated. And go visual.
Minimums.
So as you can see, we're pretty close here. So go ahead and set us up for the downwind here. And then you're going to want to hold. You don't want to climb, because we would go back in the clouds. You just want to hold that MDA, or whatever altitude you broke out of the clouds at.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really get that, like, when you can go past minimums and not. Is it just precision versus non?
Yeah, we'll talk
versus
about
MDA?
it after the circle to land. Cool. All right, so now it's just a normal traffic pattern. However, we're slightly lower than normal, right? So stay at this altitude until you get into a place where you can continuously land, and check your heading. We're not really in a downwind. We're like leading into center line right now. There you go. North Texas, Travis 59 left, downwind 18 left. We'll be doing a touch and go and departing to the south.
Gotcha, yeah. That's something I should write down, just to, or maybe bug it. As like a, hey, I'm doing a circling. This is going to be my downwind.
Yeah. It goes back to the briefing thing, right? Like, just have all that planned out in your mind.
Yeah, for sure.
And you use the MFD to kind of guide you, too.
Yeah, true, though. Extended center line.
Cool. All right, now just do your thing. We'll do a touch and go here, and we'll depart to the south.
Cool. I see 18 left.
Yep.
Looking good.
North Texas, traffic is 569 left base, 18 left, touch and go, departure to the south, on the go, North Texas. North Texas, traffic is 569, short final, 18 left, touch and go, departing to the south, North Texas.
All right, keep me on center line today, homie.
Yeah, sir.
Some weak REILs.
Yeah, I was going to say, those look almost amber. Or the Pappies.
So it's just the threshold lights, not the rails. I don't see the rails at the end. A little bit of right rudder. Attaboy. A little flat.
Flat.
Right, your flaps.
Thank you.
On the go. 2500. Direct Addison.